Have you ever wondered, do you really own what you have on the internet? Stop for a second and think about it. The songs you listen to aren't yours, they belong to the platform. The skins you use in your favorite video game can disappear the day their servers shut down. Even your photos, your memories, your conversations all depend on your account not being blocked tomorrow. So the question becomes inevitable. What does ownership really mean in the digital age? How much control do you truly have over what you buy, create, or share online? And most importantly, what if there was a way to publicly prove, without intermediaries or doubt, that something digital belongs to you forever? Right now, in the US and the UK, something big is happening behind the scenes. Major brands, record labels, and tech giants are quietly testing NFT-based memberships, digital IDs, and blockchain-verified art sales. What started as hype is turning into real-world adoption, and the rules of the internet are changing faster than anyone expected. If you think NFTs were just a passing trend, you might want to watch this before it's too late. That reality is already happening from Asia to Latin America through the United States and Europe. A new technological wave is rewriting the rules of the internet. A wave that's not about social media, cryptocurrencies, or video games, but something much deeper, the power to own the digital world. And at the heart of this revolution are NFTs, what many once dismissed as expensive drawings or hyped JPEGs. Today, they're the foundation of a global system redefining how we understand ownership, identity, and value online. In this video, we're going far beyond the headlines. I'm going to show you what NFTs really are and what they're not, so you can erase all the wrong ideas from your mind. We'll look at real examples from music, gaming, art, education, digital fashion, and even legal documents. And I'll share with you a simple checklist to identify empty projects and recognize the opportunities that could change your digital future. Because if there's one thing you should understand today, it's this. NFTs aren't the future of digital art. They're the beginning of a new era of ownership on the internet. So get ready, because what you're about to discover might forever change the way you see the digital world. Let's dive in.
Yeah, I'm back!
What are NFTs really? Let's pause for a second and think. When we talk about an NFT, most people picture an image, an expensive drawing, or a meme someone decided to sell. That's the idea many people have, and that's exactly the misconception that causes the most confusion. The truth is, an NFT is not the image itself. The NFT is the digital certificate, the notarized proof that shows you are the rightful owner of something on the internet. That something could be an illustration, a song, a video, a collectible, a virtual land in the metaverse, or even the digital representation of a real-world physical asset. The term NFT stands for non-fungible token, and that's where the key difference lies. A cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum is fungible. One BTC always equals another BTC, just like a $20 bill equals another $20 bill. But an NFT is non-fungible, unique, irreplaceable, and not interchangeable on equal terms. To put it simply, think of an airplane ticket. Everyone may fly on the same plane, but each ticket has a different name, seat, and flight conditions. You can't just swap it with someone else and expect it to work the same way. That's how an NFT works. No two are alike, and that's what gives them value. The key function of an NFT. The core purpose of an NFT is to prove ownership and authenticity of a digital asset. Before NFTs, any file online could be copied infinitely with no proof of who the original owner was. Now, thanks to blockchain technology, you can not only prove that an asset is yours, you can trace its entire history, who created it, who bought it first, for how much, and who owns it now. That raises a powerful question. If you can prove that you own a piece of land in real life with a signed title, why couldn't you do the same with virtual land, a video game skin, or even a digital document? Let's break it down with simple examples. In digital art, an NFT works like an invisible frame that certifies which piece is the original and who owns it. In music, it can represent a song where every resale automatically pays royalties to the artist. In gaming, it can be a unique item you can use, lend, or sell across different virtual worlds. And in the near future, NFTs could certify anything from university diplomas to property deeds. In short, an NFT isn't the artwork. It's the smart contract that protects it and gives it life in the digital ecosystem. Here's the first key idea to remember. NFTs didn't invent digital value. They invented a transparent, programmable way to prove ownership. Why are NFTs valuable and what problem do they solve? Let me ask you a direct question. Why would someone pay millions of dollars for a digital file anyone could copy with one click? At first glance, it seems absurd, but that's exactly where the magic and the misunderstanding lie. What gives an NFT its value isn't the file itself, it's what the blockchain records about that file. An NFT is, at its core, programmable digital scarcity. The blockchain ensures that each token is unique, traceable, and impossible to forge or duplicate. In a world where digital content multiplies infinitely, scarcity becomes power. And blockchain does something that once seemed impossible. It gives a digital asset the same weight as a physical title of ownership. Before NFTs, there were two main problems in the digital world: infinite copying. A file could be replicated endlessly, with no way to tell the original from the copy. Platform dependence. Your digital assets were under the control of companies. If they changed the rules or shut your account, you lost everything. NFTs directly attack both issues. They certify what's original and who the real owner is. They decentralize ownership, no longer stored on a private server, but on a public blockchain. Here's a powerful example. Think of it this way. Anyone can have a photo of the Mona Lisa on their phone, but there's only one museum that can say, "We own the original." The NFT doesn't stop people from viewing or downloading the image, but it proves who holds the certified ownership of the digital original. And why does that matter? Because in a global economy, value isn't defined by how easy it is to copy something, but by the trust in its authenticity. Beyond art, we'll use cases of NFTs. What's fascinating is that this concept goes far beyond digital artwork. In music, an NFT can ensure that every time a song changes hands, the artist automatically receives royalties without needing record labels. In video games, that rare skill or weapon you earned isn't just yours inside the game. You can sell it or lend it outside of it. In communities, an NFT can be your key to access exclusive clubs, private events, or premium courses. In documents, from diplomas to property titles, everything can be certified as an NFT to eliminate forgery. In short, NFTs aren't a passing trend. They're a tool redefining how we understand ownership, authenticity, and value in the digital era. The real key behind it all? Program trust. That's why NFTs matter. They solve the trust problem in the digital world. In an internet where anyone can copy and delete, NFTs create a public, transparent record that says, "This is yours. These are the rules." And no one can change them without your permission. It's not the drawing. It's not the meme. It's not the hype. It's trust written in code. Real-world applications of NFTs. So far, we've understood what NFTs are and why they have value. But the real question is, what are they actually used for today? Let me show you 6 real-world scenarios where NFTs are already changing the game. 1. Digital art. Art was the first massive entry point. Artists who once depended on galleries or platforms can now sell their works directly as NFTs. The revolutionary part isn't just the sale, it's that every time the piece resells, the creator automatically receives a percentage. In other words, the artist doesn't get paid only once, but every time their work moves through the digital market. Imagine if Picasso had earned money every time one of his paintings changed hands. That's what NFTs are making possible in digital art. 2. Music and entertainment. Music is another field transforming rapidly. An NFT can represent an album, a single, or even a ticket to a virtual concert. The difference is that the artist controls distribution, removes intermediaries, and ensures royalties automatically. Imagine buying an NFT from your favorite band that grants you exclusive content, private concerts, and could even increase in value as the band grows. It's not just music, it's a collectible experience with real-world benefits. 3. Gaming. This is where things get even more exciting. Video games have always had digital items, weapons, skins, cards, characters, but until now, they were never truly yours. With NFTs, those items become tradable assets. You can use them in-game, sell them on a marketplace, or even transfer them to other virtual worlds. The idea is simple but powerful. Play, earn, and truly own what you achieve. 4. Digital fashion and the metaverse. It might sound strange, but digital fashion is already a booming market. Brands are selling clothes in NFT form. Why would someone buy a dress they can't wear in real life? Because in the metaverse, on social networks, and in augmented reality environments, your digital identity matters as much as your physical appearance. Brands like Nike, Adidas, and Dolce & Gabbana have already launched NFT collections worth thousands of dollars. The message is clear. In a world where we spend more and more time online, fashion goes digital too. 5. Tokenized physical assets. NFTs aren't limited to the virtual world. More and more companies are exploring how to tokenize physical assets, from real estate to luxury cars and even jewelry. In these cases, an NFT acts as the digital title of a physical good, allowing faster, safer, and more transparent transactions. Buying a house in minutes instead of months of paperwork? NFTs can make that possible. 6. Identity and documentation. And here comes a key point for the future. NFTs can represent not only art or property, but official digital documents, from identity cards to academic certificates. A university diploma issued as an NFT cannot be forged. A tokenized passport could simplify immigration processes. A professional license could be verified in seconds with zero paperwork. In short, trust without intermediaries. The complete vision. As you can see, NFTs are not a technological whim. They are a tool that opens doors to new economies, new experiences, and new forms of ownership. From art and music to video games, fashion, real estate, and legal documentation, NFTs are already showing real-world applications. And now that you understand how they work, comes the most important part: how to distinguish real value from empty speculation. How to tell real value from pure hype. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Not everything that shines in the NFT world is digital gold. For every innovative project that brings real value, there are hundreds created solely to speculate, inflate prices, and disappear, leaving thousands of people with worthless assets. So, how can you tell the difference between a project with a future and one that survives only on hype? There are several key signals you need to learn to recognize. 1. Utility. Ask yourself, does this NFT solve a problem or offer a concrete utility? An NFT that exists only as a collectible image, with no community, no purpose, and no development plan, probably relies solely on speculation. But an NFT tied to real benefits, access to events, automatic royalties, exclusive memberships, or integration with games, has a much more solid foundation. 2. Team. Analyze the team behind the project. Who are they? Do they have a track record in the digital, artistic, or business world, or are they anonymous profiles with no transparency? In this ecosystem, the creator's credibility can be the difference between a serious project and a scam disguised as an opportunity. 3. Community. An NFT without a community is a lifeless asset. If its value depends solely on someone paying more than you did, it will collapse sooner or later. But when there's an active, engaged community, one that creates content, organizes events, and stays involved, the NFT becomes more than just a file. It becomes a symbol of belonging. 4. Roadmap. Always check the roadmap. A serious project doesn't live only in the present. It has a clear plan for evolution. New features, partnerships, integrations. If there's no roadmap, just vague promises, that's a red flag. 5. Liquidity. And finally, something few people talk about, liquidity. You might own an NFT that's supposedly worth a fortune, but if no one wants to buy it when you decide to sell, its value is zero. A good project always maintains an active secondary market with real buyers and sellers. The ultimate filter. In summary, what separates smoke from real value comes down to this: utility, transparency, community, vision, and liquidity. 5 simple keys that act as a filter to avoid getting carried away by passing trends. Because in the end, buying an NFT without analyzing these factors is like investing in land without knowing if it has deeds, if it's developed, or if anyone actually wants to live there. The difference is that here, the market moves much faster and mistakes are expensive. So next time you see a viral NFT, ask yourself, is it just a digital firework in the online sky, or a real foundation for the future of ownership on the internet? If all this is helping you understand how the new internet works, especially the world of NFTs, subscribe now to the channel. Here, we don't talk about empty theories or promises of instant wealth. We talk about real knowledge, finance, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, the Metaverse, and artificial intelligence applied to everyday life. This channel exists to help you understand the future before it arrives and to prepare you to take advantage of it. So hit that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, share, and comment so we can keep creating content that helps you build your own path in this new digital economy. Real stories of million-dollar sales. If NFTs seem interesting so far, wait until you hear the stories that shook the digital and financial worlds. Because the truth is, some of the most shocking sales sound like scenes from a movie. And yet they teach us powerful lessons about how this market really works. It all began with digital art. In 2021, an artist named Beeple auctioned a piece called Everydays, the first 5,000 days. It was a collage of 5,000 images he had created every single day for over 13 years. That artwork sold for $69 million at Christie's auction house. Overnight, people went from being a respected digital artist to a global headline, and the entire world turned its eyes to NFTs. But that wasn't the only case. The CryptoPunks collection, small pixelated avatars created in 2017, became one of the most iconic symbols of the NFT ecosystem. What began as a free experiment ended up selling for millions per punk. Why? Because they weren't just images. They became digital status symbols, a kind of passport into an exclusive community. Another famous example, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, a collection of cartoon apes drawn with different styles and accessories. Beyond the visuals, each NFT granted access to private events, exclusive parties, and community benefits. Suddenly, celebrities like Eminem, Neymar, and Snoop Dogg started buying these apes for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It wasn't just art, it was a digital social club with very high entry barriers. And there are even more curious stories. The first ever tweet by Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey sold for nearly $3 million. A simple line of text anyone could read for free online, but it's NFT certified ownership of the original. Or the famous Nyan Cat GIF, a 10-year-old internet meme, sold as an NFT for nearly $600,000. The lessons behind the headlines. These stories leave us with 2 big lessons. First, the value of an NFT doesn't depend on the file itself, but on what it represents: history, community, exclusivity, and access. And second, perception of value in the digital market can be just as powerful as in the physical world. If someone pays millions for a painting because it was made by Picasso, why wouldn't they pay millions for a certified, one-of-a-kind digital asset backed by a global community? However, not all of these stories had happy endings. Some of those NFTs that sold for astronomical prices lost much of their value months later. The reason? Speculation inflated the market. Here we learn an uncomfortable truth. Price and value are not always the same. And that's the key lesson. Million-dollar sales show the potential of NFTs to create wealth, but they also warn us of the danger of chasing only the noise of the market. The future of NFTs, from trend to infrastructure. After everything we've seen, one question becomes inevitable. Are NFTs just a passing trend, or are they the foundation of a new digital economy? The truth is, the market has already given its silent answer. NFTs have evolved from collectibles to infrastructure. We're no longer talking only about digital art. We're talking about contracts, identity, experiences, access, and ownership. Digital identity. Imagine your ID card, passport, or university diploma not as a paper easy to forge, but as an NFT, impossible to manipulate, stored securely on the blockchain. That would simplify bureaucratic processes, reduce fraud, and speed up legal and academic procedures worldwide. Countries, universities, and companies are already exploring how to tokenize digital identity. Tokenization of physical assets. NFTs are also expanding into the world of tangible goods, real estate, collectible cars, exclusive jewelry. Everything can have a digital twin on the blockchain, a certificate of authenticity and ownership. That means in the near future, you could buy a house with a single click, transferring not only the property, but its entire legal history in seconds. Gaming and the Metaverse. In gaming, NFTs form the backbone of the play-to-own model, where items stop being just pieces of game data and become real assets. You'll be able to move them between worlds, sell them on open markets, or even rent them out. And in the Metaverse, your clothing, accessories, or virtual land won't just be digital appearances, they'll be verifiable properties with real-world value. Artificial intelligence and NFTs. The combination of AI and NFTs opens an entirely new dimension. AI-generated artworks that can be certified as unique, digital avatars that evolve with you and remain recorded on the blockchain as yours, even smart contracts that can adapt automatically according to programmed rules. What changes forever? In the end, what NFTs bring isn't a market of expensive means, it's a paradigm shift. The idea that digital things can be verifiably, programmably, and peer-to-peer yours, with no intermediaries. That transforms entire industries, from music to education, from real estate to entertainment. And here's the big question you need to ask yourself: will you stand by and watch this revolution evolve, or will you learn to use it to your advantage before everyone else? Every innovation follows the same curve: first ridicule, then skepticism, and finally mass adoption. NFTs are right on that curve, and those who recognize their true potential won't just hold digital assets. They'll hold a strategic edge in the new internet we're building. NFTs and verifiable credentials in education and health. Universities, hospitals, and public institutions are adopting NFTs as verifiable credentials. From academic diplomas to medical records, NFTs allow personal information to be protected, portable, and verifiable without intermediaries. This reduces fraud, speeds up processes, and empowers users to control their own data. NFTs and digital governance. Some countries and communities are experimenting with NFTs as tools for civic participation, from decentralized voting to DAO memberships. NFTs help make digital governance more transparent, secure, and accessible. This opens the door to more agile democracies, less dependent on traditional structures. Integration with social networks and mainstream platforms. Platforms like Instagram, Reddit, and Spotify already let users showcase, sell, or integrate NFTs directly into their ecosystems. That means creators can monetize content, certify authorship, and offer exclusive experiences without leaving their social platforms. Web 2.0 and Web 3.0 are beginning to fuse into sovereign digital identities. With the rise of personal wallets and decentralized identity systems, NFTs are becoming key components of your digital self. Your avatar, your achievements, your access rights, and your credentials can coexist in a single ecosystem controlled by you. This redefines online reputation and privacy. Spanish-speaking markets, from Spain to Latin America. Musicians, sports clubs, universities, and entrepreneurs are integrating NFTs into fan tokens, digital education, and secure ticketing. In countries like Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, Chile, and Venezuela, NFTs already authenticate artworks, power exclusive memberships, and finance cultural projects via blockchain. Adoption grows, driven by local creativity and the need for decentralized solutions. The English-speaking world. In the English-speaking world, NFT development is moving faster than anywhere else. In the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and beyond, Web3 innovation is crossing from concept to infrastructure. NFTs are being applied in gaming, sports, copyrights, intellectual property, and corporate metaverses, while regulators experiment with verifiable digital identities and automated smart contracts. Silicon Valley and London are becoming the twin laboratories of the new digital economy, where cutting-edge technology meets advanced regulation to shape the future of the internet. United States. In the United States, NFTs have moved far beyond the speculative phase. Prestigious universities like UC Berkeley have experimented with NFT auctions linked to Nobel Prize, winning research, using blockchain to fund academic innovation. Institutions such as the University of North Texas are exploring NFTs as permanent digital records, certificates that live forever on the blockchain instead of on paper. In sports and entertainment, major American leagues and streaming platforms have launched tokenized tickets and digital collectibles that grant holders exclusive content, VIP access, and real-world benefits. Meanwhile, Silicon Valley is merging artificial intelligence, NFTs, and smart contract automation into a programmable financial layer, transforming digital ownership into the backbone of the next economic system. And on Wall Street, financial institutions are quietly testing asset tokenization for real estate, music rights, and intellectual property, bringing blockchain technology directly into traditional finance. United Kingdom. Across the Atlantic, the United Kingdom has taken a different, but equally strategic path. Here, innovation meets regulation. From London's financial districts to fashion houses and museums, NFTs are being woven into everyday business models, from digital ticketing systems for concerts and exhibitions to authenticity certificates for art and luxury goods. British universities and creative institutions are experimenting with NFT-based scholarships and credentialing, while Web3 startups build transparent legal frameworks that make blockchain adoption safer and more credible. If the US pushes the technological frontier, the UK is writing the rules of trust and legitimacy for the new internet economy. Australia. In Australia, adoption is fueled by culture, creativity, and innovation. The Australian Football League, AFL, has launched official NFT moments, allowing fans to own verified highlights from real matches. The Sydney-based company Immutable X has become one of the world's leading NFT and blockchain gaming platforms, powering partnerships with global brands like TikTok and GameStop. Australian musicians and digital creators are also using NFTs to explore new revenue models, redefining how art, ownership, and technology converge. Together, these projects position Australia as a Southern Hemisphere hub for blockchain creativity and sustainable innovation. Southern Europe, Italy, and France. Here, NFTs merge with high fashion, art, and luxury. Brands like Gucci, Prada, Dior, and Louis Vuitton drive certified digital collections, immersive client experiences, and digital authenticity passports. In Italy, art houses and museums use blockchain to trace provenance, ensuring transparency and historical value. European elegance finds in NFTs a new way to preserve and project its legacy. The Lusophone world. In Brazil and Portugal, adoption grows through real estate tokenization, urban art, and crypto education projects. Brazil stands out for its dynamism in DeFi and blockchain gaming, while Lisbon solidifies as a European hub where Web3 startups from across the Portuguese-speaking world converge. Lusophone culture positions itself as a bridge between innovation, inclusion, and digital creativity. Asia, the laboratory of the future. From Japan and South Korea to the Philippines and India, adoption is massive. Anime, K-pop, gaming, and AI avatars dominate NFT markets. Korea and Japan lead cultural innovation, while Singapore and India advance with digital credentials and play-to-earn ecosystems that blend creativity, technology, and real economies. Asia doesn't just consume technology, it reinvents and exports it. The message is clear. Each region adapts NFTs to its culture, but the common pattern is the same: utility, community, and transparency. The digital future is already under construction, and it knows no borders. What will you do with this knowledge? At this point, you can't see NFTs as mere pictures on the internet. Now you know that behind those three letters lies something far more powerful, a system that redefines ownership in the digital age. Because the real revolution isn't in the image, the meme, or the passing trend. It's in the ability to certify ownership, access, and value in a world that, until yesterday, seemed impossible to control. Today you saw how artists, musicians, gamers, and even major brands are already leveraging this technology. We saw the headlines that shook the market and the risks of getting carried away by speculation. We learned that what truly matters isn't the hype, but utility, community, and long-term vision. And maybe now, one question remains with you. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you dismiss it as a fad that already passed, or will you see the opportunity to learn, adapt, and stay one step ahead? In the end, digital ownership is here to stay, and NFTs are just the beginning of a much larger transformation that's only getting started. So if you want to keep exploring how cryptocurrencies, blockchain, the metaverse, and artificial intelligence are building the new global economy, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us on this journey. We're not talking about passing trends. We're talking about the keys to the digital future. And believe me, it's better to be inside the conversation than watching from the outside. In the end, NFTs aren't just technology or simple digital assets. They're a declaration of independence in a world where almost everything is controlled by platforms. They represent the possibility that you can truly own what you create, share, and love on the internet. Maybe a few years from now, when everything is tokenized, from music to your identity, we'll look back at this moment as the beginning of a new era of digital ownership. And if you're watching this video, it's because you're already part of that first generation that chose to understand it before everyone else. So don't forget, subscribe, share, comment, and join this digital race. Because in the digital future, the winners won't be those who have more information, but those who dare to use it first. This is not just the end of a video. It's the beginning of your understanding of the new internet. See you in the next video.